Bloody Jacob here to give you my thoughts on the first Child's Play movie, which released in 1988, and was the start of the franchise and continuity that still goes to this day, even with the cancellation of the TV show recently. We're still all expecting a follow-up film at some point within the next handful or so of years. I've always been a big fan of Child's Play and Chucky himself. He's steadily gone up my horror characters over the years in terms of his placement. I even got to meet Brad and Fiona Dourif a few years ago, which was a really cool experience. I watched the first Child's Play at one point on an outdoor screen, which was a lot of fun too. And with that, the first Child's Play movie is always one I've liked, but for me it's kind of gotten overshadowed by some of the sequels. But in rewatching this again, well, I still think of Child's Play 2, 3, Bride of Chucky, etc. as being ones I kind of go to a little bit quicker sometimes, just based on the kind of more, forward nature of it. There's definitely a part of me that realizes, okay, I kind of overlook this first film a little bit. I should probably give it a little bit more credit too. With the nature of it, with kind of the suspense of, okay, is this doll actually alive? Is the kid, making something up? Because there was a version of the script at one point that kind of dragged the idea of, okay, the question of is this doll actually a thing out a little bit longer, even playing at the idea that the kid could be the killer a little bit more, and that concept was reused in various other things after the fact where the kid would turn out to be the culprit. So there's an inherent nature to the premise of, okay, is the toy actually alive somehow or what? That kind of makes this either one you want to go back to because of the suspense of it, or one that you kind of want to, watch here and there, but maybe not as much as kind of the more, outlandish, just balls to the wall fun sequels. And that's not to say this one isn't fun, because it is. Child's Play started something, and there's a clear reason why. First Child's Play is very, very good. It was directed by Tom Holland, whose hand you may know for the original Fright Night, which I'm a big fan of as well, something I also seen on an outdoor screen. And he does a good job here. John Mancini as a co-writer here, who would eventually essentially take over the franchise. And so you have Alex Vincent, who does a fairly commendable job for child performance in this movie, along with Catherine Hicks playing his mom, who's conflicted about believing her kid or not, and trying to get this really popular toy that's insanely sought after by the children at this time in the film. And then you have Chris Sarandon, who is a familiar face to Tom Holland's films, having been the lead vampire in Fright Night. Playing this detective who ends up having a tie to, Charles Lee Ray himself. Of course, at the beginning of the movie, we get Charles Lee Ray, Brad Dourif, and sort of, quick sort of origin in terms of the setup to the doll, with him being this serial killer, the Lakeshore Strangler, and sort of his ritualistic placement that he does within the doll himself. That leads to the shootout at the store, where he is killed by Chris Sarandon's character, seemingly, of course transferring his being into the good guy doll. And Chris Sarandon I liked more in Fright Night. I think he's fine here, he's solid, but I've always felt like I've been a bit in the minority, and that he's always a touch doll to me. I never fully bought him being the suave charm of the vampire in Fright Night, as much as I like that movie. And he's just fine here. He's not bad or anything. I don't know. I think there could have been a more interesting, intense actor for it here. I don't know. But that, of course, does bring me to Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif, not only his voice, but kind of his physical performance you get at the beginning, and playing essentially Charles Lee Ray's last little hurrah there. Brad Dourif is very, very good. Even though you get less of Chucky than you do in some of the later movies, he still really makes his mark here, adding this personality you just can't replicate to the voice and everything. Even if he wasn't on set the majority of the time to do it, you can kind of feel how well they played off of it, and everything they did to sort of work on the movements on the doll, and sort of the transitions and the perspectives of the doll as he's running around, and all that went into that. I still think it's really, really impressive. And it just cements Dourif in the franchise and what he's become to horror culture in general. And I say you get more Chucky screen time in the sequels, and you do, but there's still plenty of memorable moments in this movie. Like with Andy's mom eventually getting so paranoid that, threatening to throw him in the fire, kind of forcing Chucky's hand to reveal himself. You have been bad, the whole finale is just a lot of fun, as well as when he tries to kill the detective in the car, and the whole last sequence where they just can't seem to put Chucky down despite being burned in the fireplace, shot up, etc. I again just really need to give the first Child's Play more credit. There are at least a couple other movies in the franchise that I do still put over this one personally, but this is one I definitely still respect and like quite a bit, and one that I'll probably go back to a bit more now, having rewatched it for however number of the time it is. If I had to rate it, I'm giving like a B plus for sure. Let me know you guys think about this one. Where does it stack for you? And yeah, follow me on TikTok, of course, Twitter, Instagram. Peace.